language. So, of course, we're talking English now. That's my bread and butter, and that's certainly Amany's experience as well. But please don't run away if you think this is just focused on the English language. You can apply it to any language, I believe, and maybe even your own native language. So who knows? We just pick a few people in the crowd. I know I've got somebody here I want to talk to. And Jen, maybe you want to introduce yourself. Who are you and where are you from? Because I was warned that you would turn up today.
My name is Jennifer Price. Hello, everyone. I am in Oregon. I actually work at Oregon State University, and it's the day off for us in Oregon. It's Veterans Day in the U.S., so I don't have classes. But I'm working on a project with a few other teacher friends and content developers on building VR classes for English language learners. So right now we're doing experiments. We just had a class before this in spatial. I don't know if you've ever used spatial VR. And we just are trying and experimenting with Panamanian students. And our goal is to develop courses from A1 to C2 for teachers to go in and teach classes with different outcomes and objectives to move.
Good. So, thanks, Amany. Excellent point again. A font of wisdom. Use this space to extract the cultural stories from your attendees because, of course, in a bricks and mortar classroom, you're going to have people maybe attending and they're basically from maybe the same hood, I say, or street, or town, or city. But, of course, in a space like this, we've got people from all around the world. So maybe you could ask, the people in Taiwan, side of the road they drive on.
Of things that are possible in VR that are not usually possible in other mediums would be a good way to go about this.
Right, I'll tell you what, mate, any more of that wisdom and intelligence and you're out of here, because I tell you what, this man deserves a third round of applause, please. Could we get him another round of applause? Because there's way too much good stuff in this cafe right now. Excellent point. Yeah, I think there's danger, of course, of basically transferring what we do on Zoom and Microsoft Teams and what we've done, to Helen back in the last 18 months, just transferring that into VR. But I think definitely those deeper questions about what are the problems of those existing maybe screen-based methodologies or in the bricks and mortar kind of environments. What are the problems? What can and we can't do? How can we use this to exploit those areas rather than just, said it before the word, but crowbarring VR into anything just because it looks nice?
I think this is possible. I didn't hear Sarah. Hi, Sarah. This is Amany. We met like last week. Hi. I didn't hear you well. I don't know, but I think you're talking about world building, right? If students can have the ability to build worlds, and then.
It's not really about world building. What I'm really curious about, and one of the challenges that I'm personally really trying to address right now, is looking at understanding progression and learning, realizing that English language learning is more than just transactional and information exchange, which right now primarily engaging with descriptive work and grammar and structure, all useful, is extremely low level. What I'm curious about is those higher order thinking skills as we get into creation, synthesis, and application. Because this is for me, this is I think for all of us, I still feel like right now with virtual reality language learning, we're really only engaging with lower order skills or lower order language abilities. And I really think it's going to be crucial for us to understand inside of the immersive environment itself how we unpack those higher order thinking skills without having to transition from a laptop to a VR headset or from a VR headset into Unity and then back into VR. So it's a big question. I know I'm just curious as I was looking at this place, it sort of blew up. So I'll take that, the rest of it to Discord.
Wonderful. I'd appreciate it. Literally just a few bullet points. I know you've probably got a lot on your plate. Amany, did I interrupt you there? Did you want to add something? Sorry.
No, I just love this place. And one of the things that I used to do with my students is, of course, without VR, but I used to use other applications, is actually having them visualize themselves as if we think about topics like racism, for example, and having them visualize themselves as anything but human. So imagine yourself as an ant. So I was thinking of this place like what if you were an ant? How do you feel? And I give them a context. So I actually give them a warm-up activity at the very beginning, defining terms, and then giving them tasks. And then they come up with great paragraphs about how they see themselves. So they embody a certain character, and then how they see themselves in a certain context. And one of the things that I also love to do is actually like making them imagine that they are also a bird or a fly or whatever, and then use task-based learning or in terms of grammar, for example. So if I were a bird, and then, or if I were a fly, which is one of the hilarious activities that I do in class, and then how they can actually create sentences using if conditional, which we always like, you know, it gives me a hard time sometimes to you know, I need to be creative to make them understand if conditional and stuff like that. So I think this environment is really creative, and actually students can be anything they are, and they can create stuff. And actually higher order thinking skills doesn't the thing is, I love using HOTS, and I do like more sometimes kinds of evaluation and synthesis in terms of students actually collecting information, and then trying to apply this in the classroom. So I think there are lots of opportunities where we can actually use higher order thinking skills in terms of VR by looking at what are the good pedagogical approaches that we can apply in class.
Amen. Wonderful. Great. Thanks, Amany. We're going to finish in 2 or 3 minutes. We're running slightly late, so feel free to disappear if you need to. Nicole, we're going to come back to you in a second. Follow up the stairs, everybody.
Students, and if also we put VR as a tool, and it's not going to be the panacea, but it's an amazing tool that if we introduce it in the classroom to students, use it for role play and things of the sort, I think that would be also really interesting and more more useful for a good learning experience for students. So thank you everyone for coming.
Wonderful. Thanks for your input today, Amany. Thanks for flanking me and keeping the conversation going. Everybody, wonderful. Round of applause. Thanks, Sarah. Thanks to Shine. We've got Mike 57. We've got Adet over in Ireland. We've got my doppelganger. It's actually on the video, but we won't talk about that. We've got Blue. We've got Tony Lopez. We've got Nicole. Thanks for coming along and sharing your stories. And anybody else that's in the tree house, feel free to have a browse. And we'll say goodbye. So we'll see you soon. Take good care of yourselves. Ta-ta.
Thank you.